Hi all, Scally here. Today I'm pairing Dragon 3 on the Mephisto Phoenix against the current strongest engine on CCRL, Shashchess GZ neural network. Dragon 3 on the Phoenix is running at 1650 MHz and 2 threads. Shashchess on PicoChess is running at 1800 MHz and 2 threads. Both are set at 10 seconds per move and books are turned off. Shashchess is using the NNUE file NN-DABB1ED23026.NNUE. I'll include screen prints of both engine settings within this video and the score of an earlier game that I didn't record on video. Dragon 3 has the white pieces. I'll show the settings now and include screen prints as part of the video. Right, so Shashchess neural network is using the top ELO of 3190 on PicoChess. It's graded, I think, in the high 3200s, very similar to Dragon 3. But I'll show that it's using engine 2 threads with a separate screen print. Right, Dragon 3, you can see it's set at 10 seconds a move. Chess settings, engine, table bases are on, thread set at 2. Speed is set at 100%. Book settings are turned off anyway. And now this one has got quite a lot of UCI settings within the engine dynamic. So we've got 6 options there, a further 6 there, further 6 there, and a further 4 there. I'm just leaving them all alone and playing it on its top level. So if we come over to the comfort menu and show active, you can see that Dragon 3 has threads 2, ponder off, #256, which I haven't changed, and the SYSI table bases are on. And that's it, and we're ready to play the game. Again, we're using the 2 Elfacun units and the Diablillo BT device connected to the Phoenix, so as we can play both games on the same Mephisto Exclusive board as before. So we're going to give Phoenix the white pieces. I have played a previous game which I didn't record on video that ended in a draw. Let's see if this is similar. So we're going to let Phoenix move first. As I've already said, the books are turned off. Right, so we start with E4.
E4.
Hopefully my head won't get in the way.
C5.
So we got a Sicilian.
Knight F3. D6. D4. C takes D4.
we going to get from black?
Knight takes d4.
We're going to get a6 or are we going to get knight f6?
Knight f6.
And that answers that question.
Knight c3.
We might get a6 now,
a6.
which we do. Sicilian knight off.
Bishop e3.
Excuse me. So with books set off, we've got standard Sicilian
Knight
here anyway.
g4. Bishop g5. h6. Bishop h4.
Well, White's way ahead in development.
g5.
Shashchess is playing very aggressively.
Bishop g3. Bishop g7.
Oh, queen d2. We're going to get a queenside
Queen
castling.
d2.
What does black do? Castle behind no pawns?
Knight c6.
So already Dragon thinks it's 0.84 of a pawn up. I'll ask
Knight
PicoChess in a
d3.
minute, after its next move. I don't know how these bits of dust get all over the board.
Knight ge5.
Right, let's see what we think the score is.
Pico Tutor Position Analysis. Both players have almost equal position at the moment. A good move you can play is h4. A good move you can play is a4. A good move you can play is castle queenside.
So PicoChess thinks it's only 0.21 down.
h4. g4. knight D5,
Well, I'm pleased to say it's nothing like the previous game that they played. I'll include the other game in the description field.
B5,
Well, Shashchess is throwing all its pawns forward.
C3, H5,
So what's Black going to do? Leave the king in the centre?
knight E3, knight A5, knight D4,
Bishop B7 maybe?
E6,
No. I'm thinking yeah, didn't like that knight on A5.
B4,
I was thinking maybe back to knight to C6. I'd forgot the knight was guarding that square the other night. So bishop
knight
B7 wasn't necessary.
C4,
Oh, we're coming forward. Oh, this is the dodgy square. But it was worked. So we have an
bishop
exchange.
takes C4, B takes C4, B takes C4,
It's not showing
Put
again.
black pawn on C4.
okay,
Well, we eventually got there. That's one of the dodgy squares on this board, which I still haven't changed
castle
over.
kingside, bishop B7,
Don't know where all this dust is coming from. Black spots.
queen C2,
So what do we think about these pawns forward for black? Nowhere to
queen
hide the king.
C7,
Is it going to stay in the centre? Dragon thinks it's still, what, 0.6 in front?
rook A D1, rook C8,
Phoenix is looking at F4. Settles for F3.
F3. Knight D3.
Ooh, that can't be hit much, can it? Excuse me.
Queen E2.
As we get a rook swapping for a knight and a pawn, but that black knight on D3 is quite strong.
Bishop.
Well, it's a
E5.
nice outpost anyway. Dragons now down to 0.3. Looks like Shashchess is getting back into this game. So we've done F4 the slow way. F3 and then F4. Is Bishop going to move back, or are we taking the knight?
Bishop takes D4.
Yeah, that's what I would have done. Because after the pawn retakes, we got a pass pawn on C4. It looks very dangerous.
C takes D4.
Do we push now?
Queen B6.
So white has got a hanging pawn on E4, a hanging pawn on D4.
Knight C2.
Oh, that's both pawns are now guarded. So, oh, we can't push C3 because the knight will be hanging.
King D7.
So that was a silly suggestion of mine last move. C4 pawn is guarding the knight on D3, so it can't push unless that knight moves.
E5.
So 0.23, Dragon thinks it's in front. I'll ask Stockfish after its next move. That's asking for D4,
Rook
D5,
H,
isn't it?
F8.
That's a strange move. Why are we guarding F? Felt sure he would have moved D5 there. What does that do? Unless we want to threaten F6. Dragon gets in F5 first.
F5.
Now saying minus 0.14.
E5.
So let's see what Stockfish thinks.
PicoChess position analysis. Both players have almost equal position at the moment. A good move you can play is Queen E3. A good move you can play is Bishop takes E5.
So they both think that Shashchess is slightly up.
Bishop takes E5.
It's definitely opened up the lines. Look at this. Look at these lines for the black pieces.
F6. Bishop G3.
Black doesn't seem to mind having a king in the centre.
Queen D2. Queen C6.
Queen and bishop on that long diagonal. White gives a check.
F takes E6. Check.
What does he take with? The rook.
Rook takes E6.
So we're going to see a doubling up of rooks for black. Is white going to... I thought white would move one of its rooks onto E1, but this looks interesting.
D5.
Is that a pawn sack? What do we get in return?
Queen takes D5.
So the queen and the king are on the same file, I see. With that move,
Knight E1.
we're now threatening to take the knight, the pawn takes, the queen takes back. We've got to get the king and the queen off the same file here.
King E8.
So it looks like a temporary pawn sack. It's going to get a pawn back. And that dangerous c4 pawn is going to disappear. Although it does open up the c file for the black rook.
Knight takes D3.
All of a sudden,
D takes D3.
a lot of piece exchanges and a lot of files opening up. That's interesting. Not taking back with a queen immediately. Oh, can't. If we take back with a queen, we get mated. Hence the rook move.
F2.
So that means we can add additional support. Can we put rook d8?
Rook C2.
Oh, we can do it this way instead. Oh, I like that move.
Queen takes
Well, it's got its pawn
D3.
back. So what do we take? Rook f2 first? No, because we lose a piece.
Queen takes D3.
So we had to swap queens there. A lot of pieces coming off.
D3.
Looking very drawish again. Bishop with opposite colours. 3-2 advantage of pawns one side for black.
Rook
2-1 on the other for
E2.
white. Oh, we didn't take rooks. Oh, I like that. Oh look, we got minus 0.6, minus 1 now. And well, we're way off a table base. Does that T mean some sort of table base hit? Because we've only got 5 men table bases.
E2. Check. Rook takes E2.
So rings is a pawn down now.
Pico Tutor Position Analysis. Both players have almost equal position at the moment. A good move you can play is Bishop F2. A good move you can play is King F1. A good move you can play is A4.
Well, it agrees with one of the moves. So it was 0.6, I think.
Bishop F2.
Shashchess thinks it's up 0.6, whereas the dragon thinks it's down a whole pawn, positional wise.
Rook takes A2.
Which will be that pawn. So we're 1-1 on the queen side and 3-2 majority on the king side. Excuse me. But bishops of opposite colour, so it shouldn't matter too much.
Rook E3 check.
King F7 surely.
King D7.
Well, that surprises me. Leaving it in the open. So his bishop's stuck here at the moment because we've got two pieces effectively on G2, which is now moving.
G3. F5.
So we're down to below one pawn now, look, 0.6. This looks like it's heading for another draw, doesn't it?
King F1.
So with the black king open in the centre all the time, it hasn't come to any harm.
King D6.
Table base hits have gone, if that's what that T meant. We're back to sort of 0.8ish, 0.9ish of a pawn down. Looking at rook E2 by the looks of it. Yes.
Rook E2.
If we swap off, it must be a draw.
Bishop G2 check.
Ooh, that's clever. Can't take it because we lose a rook. Now we can take the rook with check. I don't know if it's any bonus.
One.
The black bishop can't attack any of the white pawns. And the white bishop can't attack any of black pawns.
A1 check.
So surely it must be a draw.
King D2. Bishop E4.
We're back with table base hits, if that's what that T means. It's almost one pawn down again. Which it is, but that doesn't make much difference with bishops opposite colours, especially as none of the bishops can attack any of the opponent's pawns.
Rook E3.
Now can we do a rook check now? Which forces him to E1
Rook
and then...
A2
Yeah,
check.
exactly. And then we can play rook here. And how does white guard that pawn? Because the king is now on the square the bishop needs to go to.
King E1.
So I can't see any answer to rook B2 here. Does that not win a pawn?
Rook A1, check.
What was I missing there? Rook B2. Surely would have just won a pawn. Don't understand. Surely you're not going to repeat.
King D2. Rook A2, check.
Yeah, I can't see Shashchess taking a perpetual, surely not. Because to me, Rook B2 wins that B4 pawn. Unless I'm missing something completely.
King E1.
Oh, I suppose if you play Rook B2, then White can play Rook A3. And it's pawn for pawn, isn't it?
King E5.
Whereas at the moment, White can't play Rook A3. Now the White Rook's getting into play.
Rook C3. Rook A1, check.
Interesting, but I suppose with both engines in the same ELO range, it was always going to be tight.
King D2. Rook A2, check.
See, now it's all opened up and Bishop can guard the pawn on C5 if need be.
King E1.
Yes, I can't see.
Rook B2.
Yeah, see. So now we've either got Rook A3 or Bishop C5. But that would have let the Rook in here, so Rook A3 it is.
Rook A3.
Pawn for pawn, and then we're all jammed on the king side. Black's a pawn up, but can't do anything. Assuming they do swap off.
Bishop D5. Rook E3, check.
So it no longer thinks it's a pawn down, it's only 0.6 down now. With again the T in front of it, so is that some sort
Bishop
of table-based hits?
E4.
We've been here before.
Rook A3. F4. G takes F4, check. King F5.
We don't take back. Interesting. I suppose it would have opened up the line of checks. Oh, the pawns are coming off as we thought.
Rook takes A6. Rook B1 check.
Delay in taking B4.
King D2. Rook B2 check.
I didn't realise I've been sitting forward slightly. I hope I haven't been blocking any of the screens.
King E1. King takes F4.
So we take that one first. Is that a bad move? Because white can guard the... I was thinking white could guard the pawn on B4. But we had the threat here of G3, which is white is preventing.
Rook A3.
Table base at 0.42 now, so looks like it is drawn.
Rook B1 check.
And we're still not taking the pawn. Does like this series of checks, doesn't it?
King D2.
Are we rook B2 check before taking B4 pawn? We'll just take it.
Bishop F3.
Neither. What do I know?
Rook A7.
Bishop back to block the check if it comes.
Rook B2 check.
After this series of checks.
King E1. Rook B1 check.
No, it's not liking taking B4, is it? Are we heading for a repetition?
King D2.
If that is the case, I think the Phoenix is a threefold repetition, but I think
Bishop
PicoChess
D5.
is fivefold repetition. So that could be interesting. So if Dragon 3 does repeat and announce a draw, then I'll have to take the draw on PicoChess, obviously. White obviously didn't like G3. Are we ever taking that pawn on B4?
Rook B2 check.
It does like that move, doesn't it?
King E1. Rook B1 check.
Yes. Running out of ideas. But it's making sure it moves another piece before it then does these series of checks, so it's not repeating position, because one of the other pieces is in a different place.
Two, check. King E1.
Go on, take the pawn.
Bishop B3.
No. And then it will do the series of checks again. Now it can't even take the pawn because its own bishop is blocking. Rook B1 check.
Bishop F7.
No. See, I keep sitting forward.
Rook A3.
Rook B1 check, you watch.
Bishop C4.
What do I know? Got a threat of rook E2 check. And then the king would have to walk into F1 in a discovery. So yes, it had to move the bishop out of the way. Otherwise it was going to lose it.
Bishop B6. Rook takes B4.
At last. Oh, because now we gain a tempo. Because we're hitting the bishop.
Bishop C7. Check. King E4.
Oh, this is very drawish, isn't it?
King F2. Rook B2. Check. King G1. Bishop D5.
Well, I'll play a few more moves, but it's just high level shuffling.
Rook C3.
The pawns are locked on the same colour as the bishops. No one's playing for any advantage here.
Rook A2. Bishop D6. Rook A6.
So even if we swing over to hit H5, the bishop can guard it. Sorry,
Bishop
A5's our own
E7.
pawn. Our own pawn colour, ignore that. Yeah, this is a draw, isn't it?
King E5.
See what black thinks. Wasn't black's move.
Rook E3. Check. Bishop E4.
Pico Tutor Position Analysis. Both players have almost equal position at the moment. A good move you can play is King F1. A good move you can play is Rook C3. A good move you can play is Bishop G5.
Yeah, 0.3 as opposed to 0.18 and table base. But they both use table bases, it just doesn't show that it's using it on here.
King F4. Bishop G5. Check. King E5. Rook B3.
Couple more moves, and this is, I'm going to call this a draw.
Bishop D5. Rook E3. Check. Bishop E4. Rook B3. King F5.
Down to 0.10 now.
Rook B5. Check. King E6. Bishop F4.
Got to move the bishop.
Bishop D5.
Otherwise you were losing it. Yeah. No, there's nothing going on here, is there? Right, I'm calling it a
Rook
draw.
B2.
So I'll take all the pieces off the 4th and 5th ranks and just use the kings to do the draw.
Bishop C4. Bishop C4. Draw.
Okay, sorry about the ending, but it was obvious no one was going to get any advantage out of that. So if you like the game, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers all.